going to get a little serious here. The next tune we're going to play for you was actually written as and dedicated to 9/11. This was written in 2002 by Jay Bocook. And before we do it, the United States seems to be the greatest nation in the world to forget. You always hear, don't, got to remember. No, we generally forget. And the reason is, in World War II, everyone was involved. People that can think back then or have heard about what happened in that time frame, you were on rations here. You could only get so much and everything else because everything else went to the war effort. Everyone was involved in the war effort. Things nowadays have gotten to the point to where even the people that are actively fighting the war are doing it with drones and leaving their facilities here in the United States and then going to the PX or NX or whatever, grabbing something, going home, sitting down, watching a movie or whatever. The reality's not there. Let me give you some figures. On September 11th, the Twin Towers, now this is the Twin Towers, just them. That day they had over 17,400 people inside the Twin Towers. Now, when those planes hit that building, 2,977 did not make it out alive. We're not talking numbers as to who was hurt. These are the ones that their families never saw them again. The first responders, just for New York City, they lost 441 people that day. As the people were running away from the towers, these people were running in to the towers. That's fire, that's EMS, that's police. The people in the planes, counting the passengers and the crew, there were 246 people that lost their lives that day. I'm not counting terrorists. A terrorist's job is to do nothing but to make your life miserable, make you afraid. And that was the one thing they taught the military, was when this stuff happened, do not let them alter your life. If you want to go somewhere, you go somewhere. But be vigilant. That sounds like something we need to do every single day, not just because of terrorists. But if we want to live a good life, we need to be vigilant all the time, right? We can still have fun. But those numbers, and also that day, 125 civilians and service members lost their lives in the Pentagon. And then, of course, 96 lost their lives in the flight in Pennsylvania, right. Following that, we fought the war on terror. Now the numbers, this goes up to March of 2024, okay? But from the inception, from like the day after 9/11, up until March of 2024, we lost 7,085 service members. And we had wounded 53,533. And that's so that when you leave here tonight, you can go down the road here and stop at Cookout and grab you something, or get you a milkshake, go home, sit back, relax, and enjoy life. Remember these people. We have soldiers deployed today throughout the entire world. And they're still doing this. This war on terror, it didn't start 9/11. It didn't start 20 years before. This has been going on for centuries because it's ideologies. We are fighting a people who don't want us around because we don't believe the way they believe and we don't do things the way they do. That's a nice way to be hated, isn't it? But here in the U.S., we can have an intersection out here with 4 houses. You can have a family, a Southern Baptist in one, other corner, Catholic, other corner Jewish, other corner Muslim. And they get together, and they work together, and they live together. And why? Because we practice the freedom of religion. We don't tell people what they got to do. You do it yourself. You think. You do it on your own. And that's what they want to take away from us. Anyway, this song here, like I said, was written the year after 9/11 and premiered up in New York. And we'd like to play it for you right now. As you listen to it, you can hear it start out, a glorious morning. Remember that day? Not a cloud in the sky. It was just beautiful. You could hear birds. It was just a wonderful day. And you could hear that in the music. And then the first plane hits the World Trade Center. You'll hear it in the music. You'll hear the confusion. You'll hear the chaos. And you'll hear it build. And you'll hear in the music, if you listen closely, "My country 'tis of thee." But it's being played in the lower instruments, and it's not in a major key. It's in a sad key. It's in a fighting, it's in a chaotic key. And it builds and builds and builds, finally to the climax of "My country 'tis of thee." How many of you know the first verse? Do you know the words for the first verse? Sing it. When we get there, I'll turn around and I'll point to you. Sing along with us, okay? This is J. Bo Cooks, "As All the Heavens Rebel."